All right, speaking of money, the Pentagon gets a lot of it. An open battle now has broken out between the Obama administration and members of the military over how to spend the Pentagon's huge budget. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter wants to use much of the Pentagon's $580 billion budget to invest in more advanced weapons at the expense of manpower. But the personnel cuts worry a lot of the military leaders. So who's right? Joining us now is Admiral James Stavridis. He is former NATO Supreme Allied Commander, and he's author of The Accidental Admiral. Admiral, great to have you here. We appreciate you coming in. The administration wants to cut 40,000 soldiers. That would bring down our total level to 450,000 in the Army. Is that too big a cut?
I think it is, David, and there are really two battles kind of brewing. One, correctly, as you allude to, is soldiers. Cutting 40,000 down to 450,000. The other is on the Navy side,
right.
Not building up the fleet to the level that the Navy really wants.
Okay,
really
we'll talk about the Navy in a second, but I do want to talk about personnel on the ground, because we have all these ground actions now, whether it's the Middle East or what might happen in Europe because of Russia's ambitions, etc. I would think that's a reason to at least keep things stable, if not build up forces rather than cut them down.
I totally agree with that. And if you look at the numbers in the total budget, it's gone down during this administration from about 4% of GDP down to around 3% of GDP. So a 25% cut. And we need to be prepared for these kind of ground operations, right. And I think the cuts are, in fact, excessive.
Okay, well, you're a Navy guy. I know you want to talk about ships. We also have, you look at China, you look at Iran, you look at Russia, major bodies of water that those countries, which at good point could be at least rivals, if not enemies of the U.S., are using. There is a battle between the Navy Secretary and Ash Carter. The Navy Secretary wants to focus on something. We're going to put up a picture of these ships. They're called littoral combat ships. These are extraordinary vessels. The Navy Secretary says we need more of them. Ash Carter says no. What do you say?
I think we do need to build these littoral combat ships, LCS. Littoral is that area right off the coast, and this is the maritime equivalent of having the foot soldiers. These are the kind of ships that are perfectly capable of operating in these high, dangerous environments, and we do need more of them. Really what this is, David, is a debate between a traditional ground force, maritime force, and what Secretary Carter is advocating for is more high-tech. I think we can afford to do both, but we've really got to get the basics right to support that high-tech vision that Secretary Carter has.
Littoral. I said lateral. Littoral. That's the name of these ships. I didn't know, but we thank you. By the way, we want to have you come back. We've run out of time, but I want to talk about lobbyists in the Defense Department, in and around the Defense Department, next time you come in. Would you be up for that?
You bet, David. I'll look forward to it.
Thank you very much, Admiral. We appreciate you coming on.